Listen carefully. When it comes to making a woman truly feel something for you, most men are focusing on the wrong things. They try to impress with money, cars, clothes, or even fancy words. But the truth is, what really captures a woman's heart is not what you show on the outside. It's the emotions you awaken on the inside. And the fastest way to awaken those emotions is through storytelling. You see, stories bypass logic. They go straight to the heart. If you can tell the right story in the right way, you can create a connection so strong that within just 1 hour, she feels like she's known you her whole life. That's the power of emotional storytelling. And in this first part, I'm going to guide you step by step, scene by scene, through the process of how you can start building that bond from the very first moment. Think about this. Before you even say a word, your story has already begun. The way you walk into the room, the energy you carry, the way you greet her, all of it tells her something about you. Women are incredibly quick at reading energy. If you walk in nervous, defensive, or arrogant, she feels it instantly. So what should you do? Carry yourself with relaxed confidence, shoulders back, steady breath, a genuine smile on your face. When you greet her, don't overcomplicate it. Just a warm, "Hey, good to see you," with eye contact is enough. This small moment sets the stage. Your first impression is like the opening line of a story. If it's engaging, she'll want to hear the rest. If it's off, she'll close the book before you've even begun. Now let's talk about something most men underestimate: eye contact. When you look into her eyes as you speak, you are silently telling her, "I see you. I value you. I'm fully here with you." Eye contact is a story without words. Too many men either avoid it out of nervousness or overdo it and make it uncomfortable. The sweet spot is relaxed, steady, and natural. Look into her eyes long enough to show you're present, but break away naturally during pauses so it feels easy. Eye contact builds trust, and trust is the foundation for every emotional story you're about to share. Without trust, your words are just noise. With trust, your words become powerful. Here's where most guys get it wrong. They jump straight into their own stories. But if you want a woman to care about your story, you first have to show that you care about hers. So instead of rushing in, start by asking her about her day, her passions, or something simple like what made her smile recently. And when she talks, don't just wait for your turn to speak. Listen, nod, react. Say things like, "That's interesting," or "Tell me more about that." Why? Because when she feels heard, she feels valued. And when she feels valued, she opens up. That's when she's ready to hear your story. Remember this rule: connection before communication. Now, it's your turn to share. But don't try to impress her with a big dramatic story about some expensive trip or wild adventure. Start small. Keep it personal. It could be a funny thing that happened on your way to meet her, or a small childhood memory that shaped you. The point isn't to impress. The point is to connect. Think of it like planting the first seed. A small, authentic story makes her feel comfortable with you. It says, "I'm real. I'm human. I'm just like you." That comfort is the foundation you'll build everything else on. One of the quickest ways to lower her guard and build chemistry is humor. When you tell a story, weave in a light, funny twist. Maybe exaggerate a little. Maybe poke fun at yourself in a playful way. The moment she laughs, everything changes. Laughter is one of the fastest shortcuts to connection. It creates a we moment, you and her against the world, sharing the same little spark of joy. Just remember, Don't try too hard. Forced jokes backfire. Keep it natural. Keep it playful. If you can make her smile, your story will land 10 times deeper. Now, here's a golden rule. Women don't connect with facts. They connect with feelings. So when you tell your story, focus on emotions she can relate to. Maybe you talk about the time you were nervous before a big moment, like a job interview or a sports game. Maybe you share how you felt when you helped someone who needed you. Nervousness, excitement, kindness, hope. These are universal feelings. When she hears your story and recognizes her own emotions in it, she starts to feel connected to you on a deeper level. Suddenly, you're not just some guy telling a story. You're someone who understands her world. This is where most men make a mistake. They think vulnerability is weakness. But here's the truth. Vulnerability is strength. Sharing a moment where you were scared, where you failed, or where you struggled, it makes you human. And women connect with humanity more than perfection. For example, you could share about a time when you almost gave up on something important but pushed through, or a time when you felt lost but found your way. These stories don't make you look weak. They make you look real. And when you're real, she feels safe to be real with you too. That's when a bond forms that's far deeper than surface-level attraction. At this point, you've done something powerful. You've created a strong first impression. You've built trust through eye contact and listening. You've shared personal stories, added humor, revealed emotion, and even shown vulnerability. That's a lot to cover in one conversation, and it's enough to lay the foundation of connection. But remember, this is just the beginning. In part 2, we're going to go even deeper. I'll show you how to craft stories that don't just connect, but actually touch a woman's heart. Stories that make her see you in a way no one else has. Stories that, within just 1 hour, can transform you from a stranger into someone unforgettable. So by now, you've laid the foundation. You've created a strong first impression, used eye contact, listened deeply, shared small personal stories, added humor, revealed emotion, and even shown vulnerability. That's powerful. But now it's time to go deeper. This is the second half of the conversation, the part where you stop being just another guy and start becoming unforgettable in her mind. In this part, I'll show you how to tell stories that don't just connect, but stories that actually touch her heart. Here's a secret. Women love stories where they feel like the hero. Most guys only talk about themselves. But when you bring her into your story, when you frame it in a way that highlights her qualities, her laughter, her energy, she feels special. For example, instead of just saying, "I love hiking," you could say, with your adventurous vibe, you'd actually make the perfect hiking partner. Once, when I was on this trail in Colorado, I thought to myself, this would be so much better with someone who actually enjoys the journey. Now, the story isn't just about you. It's about her role in your world. That shift is magnetic. A good story speaks to the mind. A great story speaks to the heart. And one of the best ways to reach the heart is through metaphors and analogies. Instead of saying, "I was nervous during my first presentation," you could say, "Standing in front of that crowd felt like standing on the edge of a cliff, my heart racing like it wanted to jump out of my chest." See the difference? The image pulls her into your emotional world. When you use metaphors, she doesn't just hear your story. She feels it. And feelings are what create connection. Every great story has suspense. Don't give everything away at once. Build it up. Pause before revealing the twist. Lower your voice. Lean in slightly. Make her curious about what comes next. Curiosity is one of the strongest emotions you can trigger because it keeps her hooked on your words. Imagine you're telling her about a big decision in your life. Instead of rushing to the ending, take her through the tension, the what-ifs, the doubts, the risks. When she feels the suspense, she lives the story with you. And that shared experience bonds her to you. Here's something important. Your stories should show strength, but not arrogance. Women are drawn to confidence, but they're repelled by ego. So when you share your wins, balance them with humility. For example, if you're talking about a big achievement, add a detail about the struggle it took to get there or the people who supported you. Confidence shows her you can lead. Humility shows her you're grounded. That balance is rare and extremely attractive. Stories are not just entertainment. They're a window into who you are. And if you want to touch a woman's heart, your stories should reveal your values. Talk about the things that matter to you: family, growth, kindness, honesty, dreams. Show her what lights you up. If you're passionate about helping people, let her feel that passion in your story. If you care about chasing goals, let her hear the fire in your words. Women connect deeply with men whose stories reveal purpose. Purpose is magnetic. Instead of giving flat, direct compliments, weave them naturally into your storytelling. For example, "That actually reminds me of you, because you seem like the kind of woman who would handle that situation with ease." See what happens there? You're complimenting her confidence and character, but through the story. It feels real, not forced. Subtle compliments inside a story hit much harder than generic lines like, "You're pretty." She doesn't just hear the compliment. She feels it. Now, this is the deepest layer. If you really want to touch her heart, let your stories create a small vision of the future. Not a forced one, not heavy-handed, but natural. For example, when I imagine myself traveling again, I know it would be way more fun with someone who actually laughs at the chaos instead of stressing out. I feel like you'd be that type of person. Suddenly, she's imagining herself in your future. You're not just a man she's talking to now. You're someone she can picture being with later. That's powerful. And here's where it all comes together. In just 1 hour through stories, you've taken her on a journey. From first impressions to laughter, from emotions to vulnerability, from suspense to shared values, from subtle compliments to future vision. You've done more than just impress her. You've made her feel. And feelings are what last. If you master this art, you won't just touch a woman's mind. You'll touch her heart. And when you touch her heart, you'll never be forgotten. Here, we explore the psychology of women, emotions, and relationships, so you can understand women on a deeper level and build real emotional connection. If you're serious about personal growth and improving your relationships, make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon. And if this video gave you insight, don't forget to like and share it with someone who wants to understand women better. Together, let's unlock the power of psychology and create lasting connections.